Since I introduced pi to you here, or angles dealing with pi, let's talk about how to go back and forth between degrees and that pi, which we're going to call radians. So radians are the measurements that have pi with it, where degrees are just our typical degree symbol. Alright, so if we want to convert degrees into radians, you are going to multiply by pi over 180. Vice versa, if you want to go from radians, so if I give you an angle with a pi symbol and you want to convert that into degrees, you would multiply by 180 over pi. Now it looks kind of confusing how you're going to keep these straight. If we actually look at an example, I think it kind of helps to see an example and how we should convert it. So right now we have a degree symbol. I want to get rid of the degree. So in order to get rid of the degree and to make a pi show up, I'm going to multiply by pi over 180. My degrees would then cancel out. So right now I've got 135 pi over 180. I do want you to reduce that. That would reduce to 3 pi over 4. Alright, let's go the other direction. If I have an angle with pi in it, maybe you don't understand what that really means. If we convert it to degrees, again, I want to get rid of the pi. The best way to get rid of pi would be to have pi in the denominator. So I multiply by 180 over pi. Notice these pi's will cross out. They're gone. If I multiply, I've got negative 180 over 12, which would reduce to negative 15 degrees. Alright, if you flip over your notes, you're going to see something called quadrantal angles. Kind of a funny word. I think quad means 4. If you look at an XY axis here, you've got 4 distinct areas. So a quadrantal angle is an angle in standard position. Remember, standard always starts on the positive x-axis with the terminal side or the ending side on either the x or y axis. So it's going to start on your x-axis. I should use a different color. It starts on your x-axis and it ends either on your x or y axis. So it could start there, or maybe it would start on the x-axis and end at the x-axis, or maybe end on the y-axis, the negative y-axis. Alright, these are always a multiple of 90 degrees. 90 degrees is the same as pi over 2. One of the 4 ordered pairs are always going to be 1, 0, 0, 1, negative 1, 0, 0, negative 1. And again, these are just ordered pairs that you should be used to working with. So let me draw a new one here. Alright, this is 0, 0. If you go over to here, that would be the ordered pair 1, 0. Up here would be the ordered pair 0, 1. Back here would be the ordered pair negative 1, 0. And finally, that looks weird, negative 1, 0. Still doesn't look great. Whatever. Down here would be 0, negative 1. They're just ordered pairs. This would be 90 degrees, or pi over 2. To the left would be 180 degrees, or pi. Down where it's negative y would be 270 degrees, or 3 pi over 2. And then you would end at 360 degrees, or 2 pi. And we're just going to keep kind of building on all of this. Alright, sine, cosine, and tangent. Let's pull in what we did in the last lesson. Sine is always going to match up with our y value. Cosine is always going to match up with our x value. And tangent is sine over cosine. Or you could say it's y over x. Alright, let's look at a couple examples. Evaluate the 6 trig functions. Just remember we said that sine is equal to the y value, cosine will always equal our x value, and tangent is sine over cosine, y over x. This is going to help us here. I think the easiest way to do this is just to graph the angle. So 180 degree angle starts right here, ends, goes all the way over to there. The ordered pair, that would be where it ends, would be at -1, 0. Here's my x value, -1, my y value is 0. Remember I said sine matches up with the y value, so sine is 0. Cosine matches up with the x value, so it's -1. Tangent is y over x. 0 over -1 just equals 0. Remember cosecant is just 1 over sine. 1 over 0 is undefined, so it won't be possible there. Cosine would be 1 over -1, which is just -1. So remember secant is the reciprocal of cosine. Cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent, so that would be -1 over 0. Again, you can't divide by 0, so that's undefined. Kind of a cool thing if you graph these, when you guys start graphing these, cosecant and cotangent graphs, you can actually have asymptotes on these, so don't worry about that right now. Alright, let's go on. If we look at pi over 2, last example here. Pi over 2 is the same as 90 degrees, so that's going to be right up here. Again, until you get used to using these pi symbols, remember you can always do pi over 2 times 180 over pi to convert it to degrees. Those cancel out. 180 over 2 is 90 degrees. Alright, to graph this angle, it starts there, it ends here. What is the ordered pair associated with pi over 2? That would be the ordered pair goes over 0, up 1. Alright? There's x, 0, y is 1. Sine is always my y value. Sine is 1. Cosine's the x value, 0. Tangent is, I guess class is over. Tangent is sine over cosine. 1 over 0 is undefined. Cosecant is the inverse of sine, so 1 over 1, or just 1. Secant is the reciprocal of cosine, so 1 over 0, or undefined. I ran out of room, I'm just going to put a u. And then cotangent would be the reciprocal of tangent, 0 over 1, which just equals 0. Alright, now I want you to go and give it a try on Buzz. Please. So try that, and I will see you in class.